Okay, hi. I don't know if everybody saw before when I put up my for sale video. Something I was also reading while I was watching while I was putting up my videos. I realized that people, they put up these their pictures of their enclosures, and I see a lot of people that they hang a lot of like fake plants. You know what I mean? Like it's filled with fake plants, and it's got like 7 or 8 like spots to really actually, like not even 7 or 8, but like 4 or 5 like exoterra vines or something to climb around on. And I said, this isn't right. So I have to show everybody this because I just happen to have this cage here that I'm using for a holding cage that I used to house something that I sold. But just have a look real quick. Alright? That's a 2x2x4. That's our own personal custom made cage. Alright, we make these cages right here in front of you. Alright, if you see how I have this set up, there's 4 levels that go left to right, those green rods, and then back to front. Those are plastic coated. And the size of the cage is, like I said, 2x2x4. I mean, this is an extreme example of cage size. But that's the appropriate amount of levels and area coverage for a chameleon to have to climb around on, to bask, and all this stuff. Obviously, I was housing something very big in there. In about a half hour, I'm going to put this dude in there. This is what they were in the earlier. This is the Meller that was in the earlier video. Everybody's awake now and lights are on, so, you know, as you can see, everybody's a little more awake and chipper than they were before. But, again, you know, and even in my holding cages that I use for the shows, I mean, you can see, yeah, they're small cages because they're meant for display. But I mean, I still load them with a good amount of branches that go left to right like that. And when I went to the show, there was another 3 on the bottom of each cage, but people wanted to, I ran out of branches, people bought them. So I mean, there's a good amount of, you know, that stuff. And the one side of the cage should have as much foliage as possible, like this, so they can go under it and get out of the lights. And there's different spots where the water drips down on these plants so they can drink off it. I mean, that's the idea. You know what I mean? The plants are there to provide shade and to provide a spot for water to like drip up on. I mean, you could do a dripper, but it would be smart to drip onto the plants. And then I don't have it right now, but usually there's a puppy pad at the bottom of the cage to catch the water. You know, you come look at it from the side, you know, you could see how much space, you know, these guys have. And to be honest with you, it fell off. But there was a plant that I had that was glued to the top with a magnetic thing that held it up there. So the plant was all the way at the top of the cage. So it, like, you know, really was started from the top. So, I mean, this is the right kind of scenario. I mean, you don't have to use what I use. You don't have to do what I do. I make these and sell these. But just to give you the right concept, this is how much climbing stuff a chameleon really needs. I mean, think about what it's like living inside of a tree or in a bush. Think about how many different spots they have to climb. They could just go in any direction at any time. That's how they feel comfortable. You know, so I'm just letting everybody see that this is the proper kind of, you know, this is how much space needs to be occupied for climbing stuff. And the basking spot should always be at least 10 to 12 inches, you know, depending on the wattage of the bulb, but a good amount of space between the top of the cage and the bottom there. So they have, you know, they can get into their warm spot in their warm area. Alright, I guess this has been a public service announcement from your local chameleon breeder. Thank you very, very much.